Steven, how's it going?
Man, everything's good, man. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate this. Getting back on social, talking to you, joining the Empower movement. Let's get this.
Oh, snap. So, my guy Steven right here, our second time on the podcast series. Right now, your business has pretty much what, like quadrupled since last time we spoke, and then six
Yeah.
years in the Amazon world. Yeah, yeah. Speak to us about that.
Yeah. Let me give a little introduction about myself in case people don't know. My name is Stephen Liu. I've been selling on Amazon since about 2018 now, primarily in the wholesale business model of Amazon. And I got into it as another income source for my declining eBay business. And in the process, I found it to be more profitable and scalable. So that's what I'm doing now. And I've started documenting my journey on Instagram. I'm sure Joel follows me, and he could see that, and he could share with you guys all of that. I started from packing at my condo to packing at my friend's garage to getting a small shared warehouse, and to finally now where I just recently signed a 5,000 square feet lease. Yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely big moves. I know I definitely be tuning into some of your IG stories. It's like every few weeks, like you're like moving into like a bigger warehouse and a bigger space and truckloads of Amazon products. I'm like, my guy Steven is doing his thing out here.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey. I keep videos from the days when I was packing in my own apartment, and I'll box products up and then take them down to the UPS store, drive them there, and then drop it off. And man, it's been a hell of a journey. And I'm excited to go forward from here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think so. Obviously, we're talking about the current fruits of your labor, right?
Mhm.
Can you talk to us more about, let's say, for the average person who's looking to get into Amazon, selling on Amazon, right? Um, what would you suggest are some of those things? And also, just before I forget, I know that there's a new trend or new service being packaged of Amazon automation. I would like for you to speak about both.
Okay, so yeah, so before we jump into like advice and stuff, right? I want to quickly run over what the business model really is, because a lot of people like to think of it as just one business. A lot of people think that, oh, if you're selling on Amazon, it has to be related to like FBA or something, right? That's a term thrown out there on YouTube and stuff. But really, when it comes to Amazon, there are a ton of different business models within it. Okay, and to quickly run through them, the most popular one that I've seen is the private label business model. I'm sure you've heard of it all over, where you pretty much you brand a generic product from a manufacturer, or you have a manufacturer make your own product, and then you try to sell it on Amazon. And then there's also retail arbitrage, where you go into your local brick and mortar stores, your local retail stores, you go to the clearance section, you scan for items, you look for items that are profitable to sell on Amazon at a discount that you could buy at those stores, right? And then there's what you mentioned, the Amazon automation thing. That is classified as Amazon drop shipping, which is something I'm highly against because it's against Amazon's terms of service. So what you don't hear about these automation services and businesses is that most of the accounts get suspended really quick. And that's something that they don't really talk about. But that's just one business model, which I'm highly against, by the way. Another one would be like, okay, so we have private label, we have retail arbitrage, and we have drop shipping. Another name for drop shipping would be online arbitrage. Pretty much you're doing the same thing as the retail arbitrage, but you're looking at online retail stores like Walmart, Home Depot, Target, etc. You're finding items that you could list and sell on Amazon for a profit, right? Now, the other category would be the category that most of my business is in. It's called a wholesale business model. And in this business model, we work with manufacturers, brands, wholesalers, and distributors from all different sizes, local to national, to sell name brand products on Amazon. And after you gain some experience and stuff, you could also do something what's called an Amazon agency business model, where you work with brands directly to help them list up their products on Amazon, to help them get more sales on Amazon. And those are the different business models of Amazon. So I want everyone to understand that there's more than one, and there's more than one that you could choose from. Each of them really depends on you and your situation, because each of them have different criteria of entering in, and they have different reasons to be in those business models. For the average person that wants to flip products and stuff, retail arbitrage might be a good place to start. For someone looking to scale a business, the wholesale business model and private label is a good place to start, but they require a ton of capital. So there's different criteria for each business model, and it really depends on your own situation. For me personally, I got into the wholesale business model. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for those insights. That's very insightful and informative. How would you approach entering the wholesale business model? Do you reach out to, let's say, I know one of the products that you sold that you shown to me is like Tide products, like everyday household items, right? Like Jif peanut butter. I don't know, giving an example, hypothetical. How would you go about? Do these companies usually have departments that deal with people who are looking to sell their products on Amazon? How do you navigate those conversations with these companies?
So at the end of the day, on Amazon, you're considered an online retailer when you open an Amazon account, when you have an Amazon store. And there are online retailers and there are brick and mortar retailers, right? So you're considered like a store, like your local Target, your local Home Depot, etc., right? And they get their products from somewhere, right? Now, where is that? They usually purchase it from the manufacturers. Another name for the manufacturers are brands, right? Because a lot of brands manufacture their own products. They will usually get it directly from the manufacturers, either from national or local distributors or wholesalers. And once in a while, maybe a small mom and pop shop, they will do business with dealers who will find them specific products. So this is where you as an Amazon wholesale seller will get your products from. You're gonna be working with the same wholesalers, distributors, and brands that the other retailers work with. To start looking for them, right? There's a bunch of different ways. I'll just name a few really quick. You could go to trade shows. There are a ton of trade shows out there. Not right now, but once everything gets back to normal. Right now, your best friend is going to be Google. Honestly, like if you look up any category or any specific product and add wholesaler, distributor, or manufacturer, it'll show a bunch of listings of. It'll show you a bunch of different suppliers that you could add to your list to contact. And there's no specific way of contacting. All you're looking to do is open an account where you could purchase from.
Okay, so in that sense, these companies don't really know or really care that you're selling their stuff on Amazon, because they're just looking at you as, you could potentially be a brick and mortar, a discount store on the corner, for example, that you're just getting products and selling their stuff to the community, for example. But when you're getting it, storing it in a warehouse, and then getting Amazon to feature it on their platform. Can you talk a little bit about that process? So like once you get the products, what
yeah, so back to the wholesaler part. Part of their business is to sell your products, right? It's to sell retail stores, anyone that wants to purchase products at bulk from them. So that's their business, and that's how they make money. So most of the wholesalers and distributors that I work with, they don't have a problem with if you sell it online, because a lot of sales come from online websites, online shops, right? So they don't really have a problem. As long as you're spending money with them, they're happy. There are a lot of brands that would restrict Amazon sellers from selling their products online, but that's just to protect their own brand, because there are a ton of Amazon sellers that don't follow minimum advertised price, that undercut each other and tank the price of the brand down. So that might be like something that comes up in your journey if you're looking to sell on Amazon wholesale. But the best thing to do would just actually know what you're doing and talk to the brands and figure out how you guys could work together. As far as the process of selling on Amazon, selling wholesale products like myself, we purchase the products from wholesalers, distributors, and brands. It comes to our warehouse. We pack and prep them specifically towards Amazon standards, because a lot of products, let's say if it's a glass product, you have to bubble wrap it to make sure it doesn't get damaged during delivery. A lot of powdered products and stuff, we poly bag them to make sure that they don't spill over or they don't have a chance of ripping or breaking in the process of delivery. And once we pack and prep everything, we tell Amazon what we're sending in. And then we have Amazon actually come and pick up the products. You've seen the truckloads in my story and stuff, right? They come every week, pick it up, and then they drop it off at their warehouses all over the country. And once it's dropped off at the warehouses, they handle a lot of the fulfillment process and the logistics of it, of getting it to the end consumer, which is you and me, in 1 day, 2 day, and even sometimes same day.
All right, and so, all right, obviously you're at the level where you're getting these massive trucks on a constant basis coming to you and picking up products. What about for the person starting out where, let's say, they contact Tide and they get a shipment of 20 to 30 laundry detergent products, right? And they say, oh, I could probably get a profit of $5 per item, and they want to ship it to Amazon. How does Amazon pick up? Are they coming to knocking on their door and getting these 20 products? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, so the first thing you have to know is that before you purchase anything, right, you have to make sure that the product you're purchasing is profitable and it sells. Okay, like we don't want to purchase anything that the consumer doesn't want, that isn't going to sell, or that you're not willing to spend advertising money to get it going, right? We're working with name brand products that people recognize, and we're purchasing those that sell for profit. When it comes to our warehouse and stuff, we have a whole system set up, and pretty much you have to tell Amazon what you're sending in something called a shipping plan. And once you open an Amazon seller account, you can look at it in your managed shipments, right? And you have to tell them what you're sending in, because they don't want to receive random things, and they don't want to receive like let's say like they have a specific area in their warehouse specifically for you. Okay, there are thousands of sellers out there. They have a whole system set up for everyone to be organized and to send in their products. So you create a shipping plan letting Amazon know what you're sending in and how much. And usually they'll even tell you if you're allowed to send that in, because some products are classified as dangerous goods, right? So they have to send it to a specific warehouse. So if it's classified as dangerous goods, then you have to send it to somewhere else. And all of that can be done in the back end of your Amazon account. It's a separate account than the main consumer account. There's a selling account and there's a consumer account. Most people use the consumer account. If you're getting on to sell on Amazon, you're going to create a seller account, and you can figure out all that in the seller account. And they have a ton of great material out there to teach you how to do it correctly, how to pack products correctly, how to create your shipping plan correctly, and how to schedule a pickup correctly, or how to drop it off at the UPS store correctly.
Okay. So in that sense, you're the one who ships it to Amazon.
Yeah. So majority of our business, we ship to Amazon. That is called FBA. That's where the term FBA comes in. And it's being thrown out there and stuff. The term FBA is fulfilled by Amazon, meaning us, the sellers, we ship it to Amazon's warehouse and they fulfill it to the customers. And they handle most of the returns and most of the customer service and the delivery process to the end consumer. Now, there's also something called FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant. We ourselves are merchants. So we can actually ship products directly to the customer.
Interesting. Okay. And I'm out of curiosity, at what threshold do you need to be at for Amazon to start coming directly to you and picking your product?
So there's a few different shipping methods of shipping into Amazon. There's the small parcel delivery, which is if you're shipping a box of items. Let's say you're just getting started and you can only ship a box of items. Then you would choose SPD, small parcel delivery. And then there's the LTL, right? Less than a truckload, where you can have a whole truck come. And that's when you're doing more than, I believe, 150 pounds of products. But I would suggest, when you're doing truckloads, right, try to get there as quick as you can, because, that's when your business is going to be like, that's when you scale up. And you're going to need pallets. You're going to need, what do you call it? The shrink wrap and stuff, right? To cover the pallets and stuff. It's a whole process. I personally recommend people to have a good amount of capital before getting into Amazon wholesale. And that's just because, like, if you start with, let's say, a few $100s, which I've seen people recommend other people to start with, your profit's going to be so limited, it's going to be discouraging your first month, because you're flipping inventory, right? So how much inventory you can purchase is how much you're going to get out of it and how much you're going to profit out of it. I've also seen people recommend starting with 2,000, 3,000, right? And that's a good place to start, but like, honestly, like, I want to see a good amount of profit come back my first month. So that's why I suggest at least $10,000 to start selling selling Amazon wholesale. This way you have enough money you have a lot of money for inventory. You have money for software to help you manage your Amazon account, like repricing software and accounting software. And let's say you want to get all your information organized in one place, and you have enough money for inventory and software, then you could purchase a course or something. But let's say you're only starting off with a few $1,000s, right? Then you only have enough money for inventory and maybe 1 or 2 softwares. That's necessary. The course-wise thing, I wouldn't recommend it if you don't even have enough. If you can't meet that threshold, just because you could find that information all over the place. You could find it on forums, Facebook groups, and stuff. And I'd rather you save that money for inventory, just so you can make a good enough profit that will keep you going.
Okay, and out of curiosity, let's say out of that 10K, let's say somebody has 10K.
Yeah.
What are more average expected profit margins that somebody could see from that 10K within a month?
Okay, so profit margins really depend on the specific product, right? So honestly, a lot of it comes down to luck, and that's not a thing that people like to talk about, but it's a real thing where one person starts with 10K, he finds a wholesaler, he purchases $8,000 worth of inventory with a average profit per product of $5, right? And then another person does the same thing with a different wholesaler, and he spends the same amount, but his average profit margin per product is $3. It really depends, because it depends on who you're working with, how much you're ordering. A lot of it is down to the product research part. If you're really like limited on capital, you're trying to aim for the highest amount of profit items as possible. Things that might not sell like crazy, but they'll sell and they'll make you the highest amount of profit. So in that situation, your profit margin might be 50% to 100%. But let's say you have, a good amount of capital where you could purchase products that sell really fast for a lower profit, and maybe you combine it with products that sell lower with a higher amount of profit. You could get anywhere from 20%, 30%. But I like to aim for profit per unit, right, per item. So I have a criteria for what I'm looking for when it comes to product research. I need a minimum profit of $3 per product, and I need the product to sell at least 30 sales a day, 30 units a month. Now, this is a criteria, but it's meant to be broken too, because sometimes let's say I find a product that can make me $20 per unit sold, then and it only sells 10 a month, then I'll take the chance, you know. I'll take the chance to purchase that product and sell less of it, but it'll guarantee me more profit. And the $3 profit per unit itself, that's pretty strict with me, just because that's what I calculate to be like calculating all my expenses in, including employees, packing and prepping and product and packaging and stuff. And that's like the minimum I want to make.
Okay. And I know, so obviously product research is a major, obviously, component that will make or break this journey, right? Especially as a beginner, correct?
Yeah.
You mentioned about some software. What are some key softwares that people should acquire, and how much do they cost?
Yeah. So we're just going through little details and specific things, right? So before I get to that, I want to quickly say that before you dive deep into Amazon wholesale and get started and say, hey, I'm going to open an Amazon account, get my business started, you really need to understand everything before you jump into it. You know, a lot of, from my perspective, right, it's more about managing your risk as a business owner instead of taking risks. Because honestly, like if you could understand the whole business model first, if you can understand the logistical part, the back end part, the front end part, all of that, right? There's very little risk because you know how to do product research already. You know how to contact suppliers and open accounts, and you know how to do your accounting for your Amazon business, right? That'll limit your risk a lot. So we're just going over some specific things, right? Which we'll go over, but just a warning, everyone, don't just jump into it. Don't listen to what everyone says and just, you know, take a risk. Jump right into a business. You know, don't quit your job and stuff. You know, this is a business. Like any business, there comes risk, and I want you guys to understand that first before we go further. Okay. So with software wise, the main software you really need, that every seller really needs, is a software called Keepa. It's a data tracker, which you could use to find out the sales rank in the past 30, 60, 90 days since the product first got listed on Amazon. You could check the price of the product from the history. You could check how many sellers were on the product at that specific time, and sales rank, price history, seller history. So those are the things that Keepa keeps track of. They also added a stock history, and that's really important too. So Keepa is the main software that every Amazon seller needs. Another one would be, there's a software called DS Quick View, where you're able to see on the front pages of your search, instead of going into the product to see the details of the product, you could see it at the page of your search term. So let's say you search a water bottle or something, right? It'll tell you how many sellers there are and what type of sellers they are. If Amazon's selling it, it'll tell you the sales rank in the specific category, and they have a little hover over button that will bring up the Keepa chart because it integrates with Keepa. So that's another one. So we have Keepa, DS Quick View. Let me think of some important ones. By the way, Keepa is a paid software. DS Quick View is a free software, but you can also pay for it. For accounting wise, the best accounting software that I've used, I mean, the only one that I've used so far is Inventory Labs. This keeps track of every single unit I sell. But honestly, like, it's very limited once you grow your business to a certain point. So I'll have my accountant go over all the numbers with me at the end of the month. But that's a good software to start with. Let me see. So we have Keepa, DS Quick View, Inventory Labs. As a sales estimator, I like to use one of the 3 main softwares that's out there, AMZ Scout or Jungle Scout or Helium 10. they will, for every search term that you search on Amazon, they will scan the page and bring up the sales, the estimated sales of the month and stuff in the last 30 days. They'll bring up how many sellers there are and just a bunch of information like that. I believe AMZ Scout and Jungle Scout are free as well. So you could download those to your Google Chrome and use them. For repricing, I use a software called Informed. By the way, all these softwares are great places to start and grow your business. But at a certain point, like where I'm at now, we're actually in the process of developing our own software for our business. At a certain point, like these softwares are very limited to what you want them to do. So that's what we're doing right now. How many do I have so far? Because there's a lot, and I could keep going.
Kiva, DS Quick Pay, Inventory Labs, Jungle Scout.
Okay, so we have the main one, which is Keepa. We have DS Quick View, which is the add-on. We have Inventory Labs, which is the accounting software for your Amazon business. And there are alternatives out there that pretty much do the same thing as these, right? And you could use them as well. You just have to do a quick Google search and they'll pop up. We have Inform.co, which is a repricing software. I think those are the main ones I use. There are some other side ones like IP Alert, which tells you if a specific brand has a history of trademark infringement to the sellers, right? Where the brand will go after the sellers and stuff. We also have, there's a software called RevSeller that I use. Okay, this pretty much it's a paid software. It's a paid software, but it pretty much takes the buy box price, the price of the item that you're looking at. It subtracts all the fees that Amazon charges you, and it leaves you with the break-even price on the product page. And Amazon has a software called Amazon Revenue Calculator, where this is made by Amazon themselves that you could use to do the same thing. And I would even argue to do it more. It gives you more data, right? But with this software, it shows up on the product page. With the Amazon software, the Amazon Revenue Calculator, you have to go to a separate website to view it. And when you're scanning thousands of products a day, that's kind of challenging to do. So that's a big one that I suggest most people get, just because it'll make your life a lot easier.
Got it. I'm gonna take a break here.
Let me see, hold up. It's like shaking a little. All right.
All right. So those are definitely a lot of different softwares.
Yeah.
A lot of different softwares. I imagine that each software was a learning curve, right? And probably took a long time to even master each thing. And there's probably more that you didn't even mention. So it seems like a lot. It seems like a lot. How much time do you think, let's say for a beginner person, let's say a person with a full-time job, or maybe somebody who's currently on unemployment because, you know, COVID and stuff, right? How much time do you think it would take for somebody to start to put into this for them to be successful?
Let me see. I think that's a little bit hard to answer, just because you don't really, like, I can't tell you how much dedication you're gonna put in and how much time you're gonna put in. If you could treat this business as a full-time job, you're gonna get full-time results. If you're gonna treat it as a part-time job, you're gonna get part-time results. And that's the way that I look at it. When I started, I didn't start full-time as well. I was doing a part-time because I was also running my eBay business, and that took up half of my time. And to get to a full-time place right now, sorry, let me see. Oops, something just popped up. So to get to a full-time, to get to selling on Amazon full-time like myself, you have to treat it like a full-time job, full-time business. And so I'll tell you my story and how I started. So at that time, I was selling on eBay, and that was my main business. But my sales started to decline on eBay, so I got into Amazon, and half my time was spent on eBay, half my time was spent on Amazon. And what I was doing for each, right, it was just so much. Um, if I wasn't spending my time working on my eBay business or my Amazon business, I was spending time learning the Amazon business as I went. So, and to a certain point, when you start your business and start growing it, my Amazon business made more income for myself than my eBay business. And at that point, I knew it was time to switch to full time when it came to Amazon. Yeah. Um, we could go through like specific steps. And I think that's more helpful just because let's say it takes me a week to get all these steps down and get started right away, then that's how long it'll take me to start making money. But if it takes somebody a whole month to get these steps going, right, then it'll take them a month to start making money.
Yeah, and I think that's something important to highlight and differentiate is that I'm sure you already being involved in eBay, you already learned a lot of things that were transferable when you guys started getting into the Amazon, right? And so I think for somebody, let's say, who's brand new to just the entire world of e-commerce, it may take them even more time to learn certain things, right? All right. And I think my question would be, I know a few moments ago you highlighted kind of like the different sections of what somebody should understand prior to jumping into this. What would you say
Mhm.
categories that somebody should have a very developed understanding on for starting to pour in money into?
Okay. So when I started, I took a course, right? And I'm not gonna review everything in the course, but I'll review the main categories that everyone should know when jumping into a business, like when jumping into the Amazon wholesale business. Remember, there's a bunch of different businesses. These are the main things you should know when jumping into an Amazon wholesale business. The first thing is an overview of Amazon itself, just so you know where you stand in the marketplace. Um, if you're getting into private label, you should definitely have an overview of private label. If you're getting into wholesale, you should definitely have a idea of what wholesale is. The second thing would be you have to get familiar with Seller Central, which is the back end of your Amazon selling account. You have to understand how to manage your inventory in there, how to create shipping plans, how to add products, all of that, the logistical part. The third thing would be product research. This is the biggest part of your business because this is what will determine if your business is profiting per product. If you're able to get really good at product research and you're able to do it really quick and you have a good understanding of the different like tips and tricks when it comes to product research, then you could find profitable products way quicker than a person that's just getting into it little by little. The third thing would be supplier research. Product research and supplier research go hand in hand. And look, your suppliers are, they're the main things in your business because you're building long-term relationships with these suppliers, which you could leverage later on to get better deals on your products and make more money on your products. So you have to understand product research, supplier research. Let me see. The logistical part of it. So logistical, product research, supplier research. And then after that, I would say just learn how to scale up your business because like contacting suppliers and stuff, that will go under supplier research, I believe. Supplier research. Let me think about this because you could separate it even further. You could say when it comes to like product research, let's break it down with like, oh, how to efficiently use the software, because a lot of people would use list scanning softwares. and you're leaving out a lot of profit behind because list scanning softwares don't really detect every single product. You know, let me look at my notes real quick. Let me see.
Right. All right. Yeah. So I feel like, because just to put this into perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're at a point right now. You're 21 or 20.
22. I'm turning 23 this year.
Okay. 22. With a 7-figure Amazon business, right? Regardless of how old you are, you I think one of the differentiating things is that you were focused, right? You weren't trying to do Amazon plus try to do 3 other different part-time ventures. I imagined you had a schedule, every day, diligently working towards this, developing habits that got you here, to where you are, correct? So there's definitely a lot of things that I would imagine go into this, correct? I want to hear about what were some of the pitfalls, what were some of the losses, what were some of the major struggles that you ran into, and that you can kind of share and kind of share some wisdom on that if somebody else is going to go on this journey, they could avoid.
Okay, so when I started, I joined a course. I went through the course, and there were about 2,000 other students with me taking the course. And a big setback would be to do everything do the same thing that all other people are doing in the course. A big part of the course was okay, let me see how I can rephrase this. So when I started and took a course, right, there were 2,000 other students taking the same course. And when you take the same course, you have the same knowledge. And a lot of people like to apply the same knowledge. Now, there's a problem that comes up with that, is that if someone's teaching you how to find suppliers in 3 main ways, and there's 2,000 people using those 3 ways, you're going to find the same suppliers, right? You're going to find the same products. And when that happens, the suppliers get oversaturated, and the same products that I'm purchasing, so 10 other people are purchasing. And then that would lead to, undercutting, and undercutting would lead to no one making money. So a big part of it, a big downfall for me in the beginning was just following what everyone else was doing and not thinking outside the box, and not taking advantage of what I had as resources that I had built up already. Yeah, that's a big part of it, because I wasted a ton of time doing that, following what everyone else was doing and making very little profit. I still made a profit, but it was very little compared to what if I had realized that everyone else was doing the same thing, purchasing from the same supplier, the same products, etc. Right? Another big part was I kind of regret investing so much money into like coaching. I spent tens of thousands of dollars in coaching and consulting for my Amazon business, when in reality, everything I needed to learn just took a little bit more time. And if I were to be more patient in the beginning and actually go through the day-to-day and actually work on my business, then I could have saved that money and reinvested that money into inventory and flipped it for a profit. So I think those are some downfalls and regrets I have in my business. And you could always say that, I regret not working harder enough, not spending more time on my business. But, that really depends on the person. Personally, for me, I understand that I'm going at my own pace, and it might have taken me longer compared to someone else, but, I've experienced different things than that person. So The first thing I would say is start thinking outside the box, because you don't want to fall into the same mindset that everyone else is in when it comes to a business that there are thousands of new competition every single day. You have to start using the resources that you have, the advantages that you have to get an edge on your competition. Because at the end of the day, you and the other people in this business model, in the business model of selling on Amazon, you guys are all competitors. The second thing would be to really understand, like, the second thing would be to be more patient with your thinking, and don't be like me and invest tens of thousands of dollars into coaching. If you understand that you will learn the same things that you're being coached on, just be a little more patient, just wait on it a little, do your day-to-day, learn more from free resources. You could use that money that you would have saved it back into your business. You could reinvest it back into your business. And I would say the third thing would be, let me see. So those are two main ones, right? The third thing that a lot of people that I've seen fall into, including myself, would be comparing our results, our sales results, our profit results, all of that comparing with other people. Because that was a big thing that held me back, was I would look at someone else's sales, on the Facebook group, Instagram and stuff. And I would say, oh man, they're doing $1 million a month, 2 million a month. That's crazy. Man, I wish I would be like, man, I wish I could get there, you could take inspiration from it. But a lot of the time, personally for me, I was just like, man, what are they doing that I'm not doing? When the reality is that you should just be focusing on your own business and don't worry about everyone else's results and sales, because they're not your results and sales. And you don't know one, if they're real results or sales. Two, you don't know what advantages that they've had. So you can only focus on yourself. And it's not productive when you go on Facebook groups and Instagram to look at people's sales. And even if they post it, something I've discovered on Instagram is that you can mute posts and stories. So you could actually mute all your people that you're following. So you're not really seeing anything on Instagram. Yeah. So those are probably the three biggest things. To summarize it, it's you should learn from me and think outside the box as soon as you can, and use whatever resources that you can to get an edge over your competition. And don't fall into the same basic things that you've learned that 10,000 other people have learned already. The second thing would be, instead of quote unquote investing your money into coaching or courses and getting a bunch of courses and stuff, understand that you'll figure it out if you work on your business. And that money that you saved, you could invest that into inventory and actually make some more money out of it. And in the future, once you have a good amount that you're willing to invest into, some coaching or something, right, that won't matter to you, that's the best time to do so. But in the beginning of your business, use all the money you can for inventory and get as much free education as you can. And the last thing would just be focus on your own business and stop looking at everyone else's business.
Yeah, I think those are great. I always say that everyone's on their own unique personal journey. Everyone's starting off at a different place in life. Everyone has different strengths, different weaknesses, different aspirations, different everything, right? So that's why even me personally, right? I don't stress over other people's success, even people that I know, like you, right? Like I'm glad. I love the fact that your Amazon business has done over $1 million. You're adding value to me, having this conversation, being in my network, et cetera, right? And it is what it is, man. Like I think that's just general feedback for not only somebody looking to get into Amazon, but just like life, right? Because with social media, it's very easy to get caught up.
Yeah, that's the age we're living in, man. And I'm a part of that trap, Like, luckily I discovered that you can mute people's posts and stories and stuff, so I don't look at it as much. But that was a big part that set me back because I would constantly think about the other people's results, and it was to a point where until I realized that, man, this time you're spending thinking about other people's results and what they're doing, and even if they have success, more success than you at a certain age and stuff, man, it's not helpful, and none of that really matters. What really matters is you focusing on your own business and achieving your own goals
Yeah,
at
man.
your own pace.
I think on that note, I think we could wrap this up. I think this was very valuable. Now, especially for somebody who's looking to get into Amazon, obviously, right? You provided a ton of technical information here. I know we spoke earlier. You mentioned how you're gonna start producing more content, putting it online, going deeper into these topics because it does become very nuanced, right? But yeah, where can people follow you? How can someone get in contact?
Yeah, so you could follow me on Instagram at the Stephen Liu, TheStephenLiu, and you could also follow me on YouTube, which is my name, Stephen Liu. And on YouTube, right, I'll be posting more educational content, but I'll try to make it as much entertainment as I can, just because there's a lot of like fluff and stuff out there. I'll get straight to the point in my videos, and I want to make sure that going forward, right, most of my content is going to be like free because like I think that's where most of the value could be provided. And on Instagram, I'm not going to, it's more of a personal Instagram, but I'm documenting my journey throughout. I'll be sharing about the different businesses I'm getting into later on. And it's more of a documentation process. On YouTube, it's more of an educational process.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for providing all this value to everyone tuning in. And yeah, man, let's keep going. Let's keep getting it. And I wish you massive success on all of your endeavors. And yeah, man, good. Thanks.
Man, thank you so much, my brother. Thanks for doing this. We'll keep this going.
Yeah. So I'll probably cut it there.
All right. Man, that was good, right?
Yeah, man, this is really good. I think this was much better and more informative, more educational than the last one we did.
Oh, can we go over the main categories real quick that I want to go over, because I actually have it all written out for some friends that wanted to get into it, of like the different categories that you need to really know.
Okay, so you want to go over it right now again, and then it's like I edit it.
Yeah, if you can.
Let me see. All right, Stephen, I know you want to go over a quick recap of. All right, let me try again.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen. So I know, just for the audience, what's a quick recap of the main things that somebody would know again before they get into Amazon?
Yeah, so I have it all outlined because I have a lot of friends asking me how to get into Amazon and stuff. So I have a quick outline for everyone that wants to learn. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different categories, right, that I've organized. The first thing is an overview of the Amazon platform. You have to really understand the Amazon platform, how it works. You want to set up your account. You want to understand how Seller Central works, right? You want to understand the difference between FBA and FBM. You want to understand the logistics of starting your business, right? Incorporations, all of that, EIN, tax certificate. And then you want to really understand the wholesale business model in detail and the supply chain and how it works. Because once you understand that, it'll be a lot easier for you to talk to suppliers. The second thing, so that's one category. The second category would be how to get sales on Amazon. It's more than just listing up your products and then you'll get sales. You have to understand the buy box and how it works. You have to understand how to send products from your warehouse or your home to Amazon's warehouse. You have to understand how to list products on Amazon and how to list new products on Amazon and add it to their catalog. And then you have to understand how to monitor the buy box and how to reprice your products in order to get the highest price possible. So that's part of how to get sales. The third thing I would say is shipping. Shipping is a huge part of it, even though we slightly glanced over it, right? Shipping is a huge part of it because you have to be really efficient with your shipping because Amazon charges you a shipping fee to get from your warehouse to their warehouse. So you're going to be losing out on a ton if you really don't understand it and if you can't make it efficient. So you have to really understand the basics of shipping, case packs, individual packs, AMZ barcodes, all of that. You have to understand how to ship SPD in the beginning. Once you scale up, you have to learn how to scale LTL. We went over that really quick. And then you have to understand how to get everything shipped from one warehouse to, how to get everything shipped from your warehouse to one warehouse. Because Amazon will sometimes separate your shipments into multiple warehouses, which will cost you more in shipping fees. And I would also suggest you really learn the packing, labeling, and prepping of your product and how to really maximize your time when it comes to that. And then that's in the shipping category. So the next thing that I highly recommend, the main thing, right, if you were to take away anything, is product research. Okay, I'm gonna say this over and over again. You have to understand product research because this will make or break your business. You have to understand the sales rank. You have to understand the price history. You have to understand how long your product will sell for because you don't want to keep it in Amazon's warehouse for too long, or it'll start getting charged more and more fees, right? You have to understand the Amazon fees that comes with this business, because it's not like you sell on Amazon for $19 and you purchase it for $8 and you make the difference. No, you have to subtract the Amazon fees that come with it. And I will also suggest you look into trends, because when you're selling on Amazon, right, you're following a lot of trends out there, holidays, special events coming up and stuff. These are just like bonuses on top of your everyday sales. And then the next thing I would say you have to understand is ungating. Okay, what this is that Amazon restricts you from selling everything in the beginning. You know, you can't sell specific brands sometimes, you can't sell in specific categories or, you know, specific subcategories. So you have to get unrestricted in selling them. So you really have to understand how, in the beginning, you have to understand how to get ungated in these categories and brands and how to really follow Amazon's terms of service to do so. The next thing would be sourcing, which is supplier research. You know, you have to understand how to purchase your products from suppliers, how to work with suppliers, distributors, and how to build relationships with them. After sourcing, right, you have to understand that there's actually more than one way of finding suppliers. We've quickly went over two, but there's multiple ways, and you know, you don't want to. You'll never. Let me see. Let me see how I convert this. So when you're looking for suppliers, right, there's more than one way to look for suppliers, and you don't want to keep using the same method, because you don't want to keep using the same method if there's a bunch of saturation in the market using that method. You know what I was gonna do? I was gonna quickly name all the different ways of finding suppliers, so that kind of messed me up.
How many ways are there that you've discovered?
Okay. 7. There's 7 ways that I found that I actually like teach to my friends and stuff. Okay. So I was gonna go over that. Let's quickly scan over that. So the next thing would be vetting out suppliers. This is actually a quick thing. You just have to know if a supplier is legit or not, good or bad, and you have to ask the right questions. That's vetting out suppliers. And then working with suppliers, right? You have to understand how to open an account, how to get their products, right? Understand the cost versus the return on investment and what products you can actually purchase at that time. Discounts and logistical things like payment and shipping to Amazon's warehouses. The next thing would be building relationship with suppliers. This is pretty much like the bread and butter of the business. Like, if you could get good at building relationship with suppliers, you could turn this into a long-term business. If you could get really good at building relationship with suppliers, you could turn this into a long-term business. A lot of the biggest sellers on Amazon, they have great relationship for years and years with the same suppliers that they work with. So you have to be able to negotiate, build relationship with your salesperson, get the correct pricing, because there's actually different pricing tiers and stuff. And then you want to really understand terms. I think that terms really help my business, which are net 30s, net 60s, 90s. You can also do prepaid, COD, and you have to understand the difference between all of this. Terms are pretty much credit, you buy something, and then you can pay it back after 30 days or something. And within the building relationships part, you have to understand your buying power, because a lot of people start off with a few $1,000s, right? You're very limited when it comes to buying power. So you're very limited when it comes to the negotiations and how to get better pricing on products. So that's something you have to understand. The next thing after that would be logistics. I know I quickly went over this in the beginning and I didn't go over it in much detail, but logistics are a huge part of scaling your business, because you have to understand your inventory limits, your account health. Amazon actually limits you to how many products you can send in the beginning. And they want to see if you could keep the inventory, if you could roll over inventory at a certain rate. So let's say Amazon sees, let's not get into too much detail, okay? So with logistics, right, you have to understand your inventory limits, your account health, your storage fees, your accounting, your specific accounting. Okay, what is your profit? What is your average profit per product? And then after that, I would say you have to understand the fees, customer returns, and a lot of lost inventory. And at the end of logistics, right, what I teach my friends and stuff, right, is you have to understand the different softwares and how to use them really efficiently to limit your expenses and all of that. And then at the end, at the end of my at the end of my different categories, I always like to talk about mindset and time management and tasks, because like 80% of your business is going to be on you, and how much time you spend in, how much time you put into your business. And the other 20% are the logistical parts, like understanding product research, understanding shipping, and all of that. So those are the different categories that new sellers jumping into Amazon or looking into get into an Amazon wholesale business. That's the different categories that everyone should understand and have a good understanding of before they get into it.
Yeah, it sounds like you're gonna need to write a book. Because this is
so I actually gave you the outline of like my mini course kind of thing. I don't have any courses out there because I think that I like to do business more personal. All my students right now, they're my friends and we talk face to face. And this is just a quick outline of what I teach them in person. I don't do anything online right now just because I prefer to do it face to face in person, because I think there's a higher success rate when that happens.
Are you planning to launch a course or coaching services yourself on this?
I do have coaching services, but they're not open. I like to have maximum 2 people at a time when it comes to my coaching. This way I could guarantee success to them. You know, I can't guarantee it because, you know, legal talk and stuff, right? But I'll make sure that if you're working with me directly, face to face, next to each other, I could guide you one step at a time, you know? And so that's my coaching. And usually I suggest them get started first and learn from the free content on YouTube first before I tell them to, before I ask them if they want my coaching. Because once they get the free content, they'll have an overview of the business model. And that's when I'll know if they're serious or not. Because if they have an overview of the business model and they're not really interested, they won't ask for any coaching services or anything.
How much are you charging? How much are you charging?
My hourly rate is $200 an hour. That's why I'm very selective, because I don't take up anyone. I have to make sure you have enough capital to start the business, because I don't want you making little profits in the beginning, you know? And a lot of the times, right, let's say you don't have enough capital, I'll show you a different method to get your capital in the beginning. You know, I'll show you how to sell products on eBay just to make up some side income for yourself. And once you save up enough capital, if you think you still need my help, then you could get into my coaching program. If you think that you could do it by yourself, you know, I won't push or anything. And it's very limited because usually when I limit it to 2 people at a time, it takes them maybe a month or 2 months to really get started and do it and have them on their own, you know? So let's say in a whole year, I'll have 6 to 10 people maximum the whole year. And, you know, this is how I'm running it now. And it's been really nice because one of my students, right, we've actually partnered up now just because he went through my coaching program. He started his own business. He's making a good full-time income for himself. And he wants to partner up with me because we could do more together. And we're signing a lease this week to a new Brooklyn warehouse.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. This is why I don't want to pitch my coaching. I'm just giving you an outline of my coaching program that I have, but it's not to the public.
I get it. Well, look, again, thank you. This was super valuable. Very technical, very informative.
Does it seem like a lot?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's what, that's why that's what I'm afraid of, where I might scare people away from this business because it is a lot. The way that I look at it is it's a simple business to understand, but it's not an easy business to understand. There's a lot of logistical parts that come with it and new things that you have to learn.
No, honestly, and if objectively speaking, I think that's the deal with just about anything you're going to get into, right? Anything you're going to get into, if you want to reap massive results from it, you're going to be learning a ton of technical things and going to have to spend a ton of time, effort into it regardless, right? So, and that's just the reality, right? So I think that, if it does scare somebody away, it is what it is, right? I think it's better.
I'd rather scare someone away than sell them a false dream, of, hey, this is an easy business to get into. You only need a few $100s to get into it. All you have to do is buy my course, buy my coaching. I rather scare people away and help them understand that business is tough, and it's not as easy as people make it out to be, than just sell them a false narrative. Yeah.
That's good. On that note, we're gonna officially end.